So we continue with the remote keynote by Patrick Hartmann and Greta Gaumert. And the title is Over 40 STOs, Experiences, Challenges, Regulation and Outlook. Have fun.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon also from my side. And Philip, you're absolutely digital native.
I guess you can hear us. I will start my screen sharing. In case somebody doesn't see it, please try to give us a note. And then the word is to Patrick to start.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greta. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Philip, and the whole team of Frankfurt School Blockchain Center for the invitation. It's a pleasure for us speaking at the Crypto Assets Conference 2021. My name is Patrick Hartmann, and since 2017, I'm the head of operations and compliance of Exporo. And in fact, as of today, I'm the new managing director of our BaFin regulated entity, Exporo Investment. The lovely lady in red at my side is my boss, Greta Gaumert. She's our general counsel and chief risk officer of the entire Exporo group, and therefore she's member of our management board. After working for Taylor Wessing and Aquila Capital, Greta joined us in 2020. And with her great experience and strong leadership skills, we are very happy to have her on board. We both would like to use the next 20 minutes for best practice presentation to tell you about our experiences of meanwhile more than 40 security token offerings, which we as Exporo have structured and brokered within our business model. First of all, let's have a short look at Exporo. We are the market leader for digital real estate investments, especially in Germany. Since 2014, we have intermediated about 745 million euros over our platform. We have two product categories, which Greta will talk about later. In the category Exporo Finanzierung, we have financed over 390 projects. And in the category Exporo Bestand, we actually have over 250 million euros assets under management. We are fully regulated. We have a license according to 32 German Banking Act for investment brokerage as well as portfolio management. And we have a strong VC funding. Our investors include Partick, Holzbrink Ventures, eVentures, and Hardcore Capital. We have over 150 employees. Most of them, besides COVID, most of them work in the most beautiful city of the world, in Hamburg. And as expected, in the direction of the customer, we are completely digital, which means that no piece of paper needs to be moved for an investment. Next slide, please. Which problem of the customer do we want to solve with our platform? In principle, in the past and today, private customers had no or only very limited access to attractive investments in real estate. But what's the reasons for this? First, no access. Often attractive objectives are not offered to the public. Second, high minimum investments. High minimum investments makes it difficult to achieve reasonable risk diversification. High costs. There are usually high initial costs associated with direct investments in real estate. Low transparency, many blind book constructions can be found on the market. And last, high complexity. In many cases, classic sales channels and thus investment opportunities for investors are still characterized by offline processes. As we as Exporo operating in a strongly regulated environment where investors' trust is the highest asset, it is our task to find the best product structure for all involved parties. In 2014, we started our journey with the intermediation of non-securitized investment opportunities, in German called Vermögensanlagen. And together with my start at Exporo in 2017, we made the decision to expand our product structure to include global custody securities. For this, we choose Bader Bank as our exclusive custodian bank. In Bader Bank, we have found a high-performance B2B2C partner, with whom we still have more than 18,000 customer accounts. And in parallel, we applied for the BaFin license in 2017, which we received at the end of 2017. And with this license, we then began brokering the first bonds at the beginning of 2018 to our customers. The signal for us to intensify our previous blockchain activities was the beginning of the year 2019. As you probably know, the German regulator BaFin then approved the first security token for Bitbond. As a result of this, we succeeded in issuing the first real estate security token across Europe in mid-2019. And in the meantime, our focus for new bonds is exclusively on security tokens, so that we now have issued and brokered over 40 STOs. Next slide, please. And this leads us to our purpose. We enter to enable better real estate investments for everyone, easy and digital. What means this? Access for everyone. The minimum investment on our platform is, depending on the product category, possible from 10 euros and up. More transparency. Our investors get a modern and digital reporting every 3 months at the latest. Low costs. We pass on our cost advantages to our customers through digitalization and standardization, thus creating, especially at the time when the real estate market appears in a quite high level. And last, blockchain. One of our core elements of transparency, cost, and always settlement efficiency, time, is the use of blockchain infrastructure as the infrastructure of our digital securities. Over to Greta.
Thanks, Patrick. Yes, and I want to basically give you a bit more insight also on the regulatory side and of course what we are facing. What is our experience with the use of blockchain? Yes, and what are our learnings from the use case, and where do we still see challenges, and where do we want to move? As Patrick explained, we have basically two products we offer on our platform. The one is Exporo Financing, where we offer the investment opportunity to finance project developers for short term, mainly with mezzanine capital. And the other one is Exporo Yield, where we have existing real estate projects and the investors can participate over a longer term, over 10 years, in the rental income and then the value increase of those assets. What they both have in common and why we are here today speaking on this conference is because both investments are made through tokenized digital bonds, blockchain based, and therefore we are digitizing the real estate investments from the classical bonds to tokenized bonds. With this, as Patrick said, we are also in a pioneer role, and many steps we are taking or we took in the past and we will still take in the future are those of a pioneer. And sometimes probably most of you working in this field experience the same. Sometimes you're not sure how the old existing regulation, how the rules, how the interpretations fit on this new infrastructure. And since July 2019, we have now issued actually 22 security token-based bonds in Exporo Yield, worth more than 65 million euros, and 29 security tokens in the financing area with a total volume of more than 88 million euros. And overall, we have more than 30,000 users with more than 70,000 investments in those security token bonds. So yes, since the start in 2019, we have experienced quite some acceptance of these offerings. Of course, in order to do this, it all seems very logical to do it that way, and it all seems very easy especially if you look at the customer facing. But of course, there's a lot of tech and technical architecture and technology in general behind it. And so the one part is, of course, the blockchain, but the other part is this whole investing in real estate in a digital way platform. And that's why I wanted to show you here, just as an overview, a picture of our platform setup and how we organize it. And you can see right on the top, basically, we have our clients, right? We have first the real estate clients, so the project developers or the owners of existing buildings. And of course, but also clients, our clients are also the investors. Those clients are connected to us through the customer apps. So, for example, the project developers through the project presentation they give to us for evaluation, and our investors through the checkout app, the trading app, and the portfolio building and investment app. All this is connected through APIs, basically to our platform, to what makes us, or what gives us the possibility to actually offer token-based bonds for real estate investments. And as I mentioned, it's not only the investment, which you can see here down here, it's basically this part, the digital investment or digital banking part, where we have the payment process, where we have still the classical securities that are stored at Baderbank, but also the blockchain-based tokenized securities. We have also the taxation covered in a digital way, and also, of course, the reporting. But apart from that, it's also the asset management of our existing buildings. It's the origination of products. It's the contract drafting and contract settlement. And of course, it's also the investor management, the onboarding, the KYC process. All this is done in a digital and fast and efficient way in order to enable the experience to the customer to get an investment in an easy and lean way and process. As just mentioned, it's not always easy to get there where we are right now. And I wanted to share with you some of our challenges we encountered on our way. And I would say, to summarize it, those are the typical challenges as a first mover you encounter. But we see it in that way, that you grow with the challenges, and it's also the exciting part of our business, that we move somewhere together with many of you who participate here today in a field that is not totally explored and not everything is clear, but we are there to help exploring and to help developing this area further. So let me start on the top left. One of our challenges is, of course, the current adoption of our infrastructure to the fast developments. As Patrick said, we started with classical bonds, but then tokenized bonds came up, and BaFin allowed the tokenized bonds as financial instruments. So there we said, okay, we can take this opportunity to take it up. Now there are new laws coming, the law on digital securities in Germany. Again, there we have to evaluate, what does it mean for us? What does it mean for our business? New players are coming to the market, new business models are arising. And you also have to think again, where do we need to adapt? Do we need to adapt ourselves? Do we need to partner with others? So it's a constant monitoring of the market, of the developments, which is challenging, but also exciting. Then customer acceptance, actually, we didn't see that too much as a challenge. We actually thought it would be a bigger challenge than it was, but we didn't face many problems there. So for the customers doing the investment, in our experience, it didn't really matter if it's a classical bond stored in the end at Clearstream or if it's a tokenized bond. Then, but what are true challenges, of course, is the very close link between technology and regulation, and also therefore the tech resources you need. So you need people who know how to work with blockchain. You need tech resources to program all this tech infrastructure. And since we are operating in a very regulated field, and in the investment industry, as we heard before, it's really important to be compliant with all the regulation in order also to create trust with the investors. It's important that the tech side really understands the regulatory side, but also that lawyers like me, we understand also the tech side. And I think this close link is coming more and more of importance. And I can say, for me as a lawyer, it's not always easy to understand in depth the technical background behind blockchain and crypto assets, but I'm trying. The last challenges, of course, are also that this field, digital finance, blockchain, crypto assets, it's of course also new to the regulatory bodies. So it's a constant learning and improving, not just on the market side, but also on the regulation side. And there are always not that clear guidelines in place as there are for the classical financial instruments. And so that also is a challenge, because sometimes you're not so sure where you are actually moving and if you are in the right direction. But again, our experience is that the exchange with the regulatory bodies is very good and very open and very transparent. And so again, here, the challenge, we see it as a chance also. And the last one, of course, is also taxation. STOs are something new. It's not, it's the question, are they treated as classical financial instruments or something different? And also there, what will be the development in this regard? Will we have a harmonization on European level or not? And also that, of course, is a challenge because it's new. Coming basically already to our last slide, but what I find very interesting, and we are currently thinking, where can we improve the market, or where can we use this development that is currently happening on the market? How can we further use it in order to achieve our mission to really democratize real estate investments? And given the developments we see, also with the blockchain, but also with on the regulatory side, I think there in the future, I'm pretty sure in the coming years, there will be quite some developments which will be very interesting and which we also think is needed in order to have even more liquidity and digitization. Starting from the top, one part is secondary markets. I mean, I know that that there are currently coming up secondary markets for STO offerings, but of course, we see this as one of the biggest advantages in the future, because if you can, in the end, invest in real estate or in other illiquid assets through blockchain technology in a way like in stocks, it will be much more attractive for investors. Another point is, to have a public infrastructure and an open network, liquidity network, so that plays together more or less, so that trading is possible, that there is really a market and also a market value growing. Then the next development, also on the regulation side, is, as I just mentioned one slide before, the law on electronic securities in Germany. So also there, it will be interesting how the development will be, especially with the instruments under this law versus the now accepted tokenized bonds sui generis. What will be there? How will they in the future exist jointly, or will one disappear? We don't know. It will be interesting to see. And of course, you can think further, also using blockchain technology in the direction of a sovereign digital identity, or going to the other side of direct ownership and digital land registry. We're still far away from that there, but I'm sure that there will next steps coming up in that direction. Or also to have fully transparent real estate data at real time. I think now, I mean, there are existing tools and we are also
Greta?
making use of lots of tools, but still there is much more potential to grow. And
Greta,
last,
our
what I
time
mentioned
is
before
up.
is also the harmonization of regulation and taxation. I mean, taxation is the more difficult issue, but also there are European laws, for example, the European
Greta,
crowdfunding
I'm
service
sorry to
provider
interrupt you,
regulation
but your time is up.
coming up.
I'm very
and-
sorry.
Yes, sorry. But so basically that is, that are the fields we see. I think there's still a lot to go.
Greta, sorry, I'm getting clear. I'm getting clear signals that we have to move on now. I'm very sorry. There were so many questions that I had to bring my phone because they didn't fit my cards. So I suggest to the audience, reach out to Greta and Patrick directly. Thank you for condensing your experiences and your knowledge.